Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Strawberry Lily channel. Hold on, let me take this off. Okay, I haven't gone live for a while and I have a few minutes before this guy comes to pick me up for a date, so I thought I would hop in and catch up with you guys. So I have a few little updates. Well, first of all, I got a new job, so I'm no longer fun employed. And I start on August 1st. I really wanted to push it back later because I had originally scheduled a trip to Dubai from July 23rd to August 5th. But this position, they really needed someone to start immediately. And it is for a really, really good company. It's a really good position, like as far as corporate jobs go. So obviously, I can't say where it is, but it's in IT. And I'm gonna have to go in to the office every day for at least the first month for training. But later on, they said that they could switch to a hybrid model, like 3 days in the office and 2 days at home. And I will say again, for a corporate job, like obviously, if I had it my way 100%, I wouldn't even be working a job. But for what it is, out this is probably the only company that I would say, yeah, I'm willing to go into the office for. Yeah, I'm excited. And it's also a field that I've been trying to get into for a while now. So it's actually a crazy story. Like, this is probably my most, I don't want to say like the most important manifestation I've ever had, but it's the most like stereotypical manifestation that has come to fruition for me. If you think about manifestation in the terms of, Neville Goddard and all of those teachings, like this is the one that has actually materialized in the way that The Secret and all those books and sources, like Abraham Hicks, whatever. I don't necessarily agree with 100% of everything that all of those teachers have said, but like it's a classic example of manifestation. So I'm kind of, yeah, I feel like, wow, does this mean that everything else from now on is going to be like that, or is this kind of just a one-off? But in any case, yeah, that made me shorten my Dubai trip from like 2 weeks to 1 week, which is fine because I was originally going to go to Dubai to look for a job there actually, because I was applying to both Tokyo and Dubai based jobs, and I was just going to go with whichever one I got first. And like ideally I would have wanted a fully remote position from Japan so that I could get the remote workers visa in Dubai so that I could have like the best of both worlds. But now that I think about it, either way, like I don't know, I had a sense of knowing throughout this whole process where I knew that it was just going to work out somehow. Like everything always works out in my favor, right? But this time it really worked out like to the T, to my favor. It's almost creepy, like it's almost too perfect in the way that I don't know, it just this new position, this new opportunity has even things that I did not anticipate beforehand. This job, like the terms and conditions of this job and the type of lifestyle, so to speak, that it allows me to live is going to facilitate what I always wanted, which is to kind of like live in both Tokyo and Dubai. That was kind of my most idealized version of my dream, but then I always, try to keep things grounded. Like you should dream big, you should reach for what's the saying? You should reach for the star, or you should reach for the moon and you'll land amongst the stars at least. So definitely dream big, like don't put a limit on what you dream for, but also stay grounded in reality in the present moment, right? Like if you're far away from what you desire or from your goals, then you need to just take it one step at a time. So yeah, I was thinking like in a very practical way this whole time, and this job has just kind of like blown everything out of the water that, yeah, you don't even, no, you don't have to be modest about your expectations. You can just do it. So, yeah, that's exciting. What else did I want to say? Oh, I kind of also wanted to come on here and talk about I've been noticing a lot of content lately about how we are kind of in the, I don't know, anti-influencer era, or people are getting fed up with influencer and certainly celebrity culture, and just like the cognitive dissonance that a lot of people experience, including myself, even though I guess you could consider me an influencer. I prefer the term content creator. I don't know, influencer is kind of cringe, right? But I mean, if you consider yourself an influencer, I'm not criticizing that or anything, but for me, I like the term content creator because it focuses on the term create, like creativity, which is ultimately the biggest reason why I do this or why I post on social media. It's an outlet for my creativity. And it's also like, I feel good if that creativity translates into something that helps other people. So whether it's through humor or through like a very practical step by step tutorial to do something, or a practical, like a thorough review of a makeup product or something, as long as I'm adding value to other people, as long as other people feel like they're being seen and heard with my content that maybe they would not be able to find in the mainstream, that really fills up my heart. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh, I noticed there's a lot of like discourse lately about influencer culture and how it's kind of reaching ahead, and how, yeah, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance about all of these luxurious, glamorous posts and lifestyles that these influencers are flaunting on social media, like especially somewhere like Instagram where it's more based on aesthetic. I feel like Instagram is just a huge cesspool of just ads at this point. Everything is an ad in disguise. Like people who are, and this is not me passing judgment on anyone's personal character, like I don't know these people personally, but people who have the bulk of their following or their online fame from Instagram, I feel like it's the most highly curated out of all the platforms. Like it's basically just they are curating an image and an advertised, like kind of a simulated version of their lives to present to their audience as aspirational, essentially. Either aspirational or just straight up like, this is my life, this is how glamorous I get to have it, and you can't have this life, or like you'll never get here. That's kind of the message that I get from Instagram. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the type of stuff that I watch, which is happens to be a lot of like luxury and hypergamy, or just like hypergamous dating, but then also just the larger context of social climbing, I guess, like raising your status in society or moving from one social class to another, moving from middle class to upper class, that kind of thing. And I take most of it as like, I don't take it seriously. It's just kind of, like I said, it's just kind of there. It's just aesthetic. It just gets fed to me. And Instagram is very, very curated compared to like TikTok and YouTube. So every post that you see on Instagram is pretty much guaranteed to be very visually appealing. But yeah, I noticed that like a lot of people look at those content creators posts, and it's hard to not compare yourself to that, or to ask yourself like, what am I doing wrong in my life? How come all I seem to see are these hordes and hordes of influencers on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, just flying first class to any glamorous destination that they want. Like their literal job is to go on vacation, right? Like they go on vacation and they get to shoot a bunch of footage of their time there, and then they upload it online, get millions of views, and just get paid very, very handsomely in ad revenue, in sponsorships, etc. And I came to realize that, I don't know, like sometimes I don't get too many of these types of comments or this type of reaction, but once in a while I do get the occasional comment on my one of my videos asking like, oh, how do you afford this, or like, oh my god, that's my dream to do that. Or like, for example, whenever I go shopping with my friend here, like we've been going to the Vivian Westwood store in Harajuku a lot, me and my friend Meg, but it's only because, like, I've been fun employed, right? Like, I don't really have anything else to do outside of, um, my main job hunting activities, which is over at this point because thankfully I did secure a new position starting in August. But, like and, like yeah, I feel like some people I did get some comments where it just seems like they are looking at the content that I'm posting that I feel is pretty mundane because, I've lived in Tokyo for 12 years, and I mean, I'm not taking it for granted or anything. I'm not saying that it's boring. Like, yes, it is exciting. It is great to be able to just get hop on a train and go to the Vivian Westwood store in Harajuku and just go to all these like landmark places. Um, these places that are really trending on social media and TikTok. Like anybody who has their sights set on Japan or Tokyo as their next travel destination, I'm sure they're watching all of this content and just like salivating over these experiences that I get to have anytime I want, right? I don't even have to plan it out. I can just spontaneously like pick myself up and go to any popular ramen spot or shop in Harajuku or whatever people associate with like the glamorous lifestyle in Japan. But the thing is, I don't know, it's not. And then I also like fly to Dubai quite frequently, and it's probably going to only ramp up after I start my job, to be honest with you, because they're giving me like they gave me a very generous offer. It's even more than I asked for actually, which is another part that I was like, whoa, okay. Because I also kind of imagined like how you're supposed to imagine the end state before it materializes. I literally imagined that, okay, I'm going to ask them for this high offer, but like what if they just gave me even more than that? Like how badass would that be? And they did, and almost every aspect of this job was like that. Like including the process, it was so easy. It was only one interview. They practically hired me right on the spot, which is not unheard of, but for this caliber of a company, I was just like, whoa, how how can you guys be so sure, like you just met me? But then in the back of my mind, I also kind of knew that obviously I'm the only person in the city qualified for this job, and like obviously they're just happy to have just found me. That was kind of the vibe of the whole interview. Like when I walked in there, well, it was a Zoom interview, so when I turned on the screen, right, when we all saw each other, of course we went through all the formalities. Like I did my self introduction, they introduced their department and what they do, but the larger vibe that I got from their side, these people were the most unbothered people I've ever met in my life, by the way. It was like the manager and this other guy that I'm going to be working directly under in the department. And they were just so unbothered and so like casual. And the manager, I don't know, his whole aura, his energy was kind of just like, wow, there you are. Like, we've been waiting for you. We've been looking for you. And finally, the search is over. Even though that was like our first time meeting and it was only one interview, but they basically decided the day of. The only thing, and I got the confirmation the next morning at like 8 a.m. So they don't even start work until 9:30, but that must have meant that they decided like pretty much the day of the interview, but they just had to, iron out the details about when exactly my start date was going to be. But anyway, sorry, I keep getting off track. I don't have a plan for this live stream. I just wanted to catch up with you guys. So I feel like, recently, like there may be certain people, especially if you're newer to this channel, that might come across my content as of late and maybe group me into that class of influencers that just gets paid for being famous, or money comes to them so easily and they're just able to blow these thousands and tens of thousands of dollars on vacations and shopping sprees all the time. And I just want to bring the conversation down to earth a little bit. Like I want to be real with you guys that it's just like it's not as glamorous as you think it is, at least for me. So I'm sure that other influencers that are in the millions of subscribers range, I'm sure that they are playing a whole different ball game. But I only have like a little over 1,000 subscribers on Instagram. I only have 400 on TikTok. I've been stuck at 400 for the past, I don't even know how many months straight. So yeah, TikTok is the one app where I definitely don't know what I'm doing, apparently, with growth strategy because no ain't nobody following me over there. But it's fine because I'm gaining followers on YouTube. So YouTube I have the most. I think where am I? See, I lost track because I don't even pay attention to this anymore. I don't pay attention to the subscriber count, which is a luxury in and of its own, like even as a micro creator, there are other creators that are still like actively striving towards that 1000 subscriber benchmark. So more power to you all, by the way, if any of you are watching this. But yeah, right now I sit at just under 3500 subscribers. So I'm like fully classified as a micro influencer, even if that. And I just want to be transparent, I guess is the word, about how, like, yes, maybe I don't know. It all depends on perspective, right? Like if you're a broke college student that just graduated and you're working your first job that is not paying you that much, like yes, you might look at my lifestyle. Um it sounds so weird, but you might look at the videos that I post and the activities that I'm doing, like all the traveling that I'm doing, which I'm only going to Dubai, by the way. That's the only place I care about right now. Um every time I get a little bit of extra money, I just book a trip to Dubai because it's good for my mental health. So it's self-care, okay? But like you might look at that and think that wow, she's living the high life. And like don't get me wrong, I'm doing well for myself. I am comfortable right now. Um I'm lucky that I live in Japan where they have a pretty decent unemployment insurance program. So I've been collecting unemployment for only the past 2 months, but it's not a lot, but like it's better than nothing, right? So that's one thing. And I did have a severance package from my previous company, which, I won't go into specific numbers or anything like that, but that was a 6 months severance package, which helped a lot in tiding me over for these past few months that I have been job hunting. But even with that, I will tell you, money goes really, really quick when you're not employed, like when you don't have anything coming in, which was kind of the case for me for the past 4 months. Yeah, because I left my job in April and my YouTube channel literally pulls in 10,000 yen, around like 9,000 to 10,000 yen per month. So there was a point where I could only cash out once every 3 months because the threshold in Japan is 8,000 yen for you to cash out. So, like, all the way for the past 5 years, like before this year, before 2024, I have only ever earned around 3,000 yen ish per month, which means that I would have to wait 3 to 4 months before I could cash out just one time. And then this year, all of a sudden, I started to earn like 8,000. I earned the threshold every month. So I was able to get a payout every month. And now it's like a little bit above that. So it's like 10,000 yen per month. But my point is that this is all just, I mean, 10,000 yen is 10,000 yen. I'm not complaining about having an extra 120,000 yen per year, is what that would equate to. But it's also not like life changing money, if you get my drift, right? And even after I start this new job, which is the most that I've made ever at a traditional job, like it's the most base salary that I've ever had, it is still not placing me like remotely in the class of someone who's rich or who's on their way to generational wealth or anything like that. I mean, that is one of the things that I'm definitely going to take more seriously now after I start this new job, because now I feel like this income or this salary level that I have, I'm very comfortable with this. I feel like this amount of money every month, it gives me enough room to like do all the things that I want, do all the simple pleasures, right? We're not going to go overboard. Like we're going to save where we can. If we want to go to Dubai, we can do that, but I'm going to buy economy class tickets. I'm going to book relatively inexpensive hotels, nice ones, but like not the super luxury ones. You know what I mean? Like we can you can experience your soft life. You can live your luxury soft life if you play your cards right. If you set yourself up well and manage to get a steady income stream that is able to provide the level of luxury that you need in order to be happy, which is usually for most people, it's not even that high, right? Like For me, yes, of course, I would love to fly first class every time I go to Dubai. I would love to stay in a dress hotel every time, which is like $1,000 a night for their cheapest room. But just because I can't do it at that level doesn't mean I can't do it at all. And it doesn't mean that I can't enjoy myself on a more budget, yeah, like on a budget, essentially. So, but this income level, to continue what I was saying, it's going to allow me kind of like the freedom. It's going to allow me, first of all, like mental peace, right? Because I'm not going to have to worry so much about my living expenses. Because after my living expenses are going to stay the same, right? Like I'm in the same apartment. I just renewed my lease for another 2 years for this apartment. Um, yeah, so all the electricity bills, like the water bill, everything is gonna stay the same. My food bill, I actually stopped ordering Uber Eats. Can you believe it? Like I started to just mainly buy things from the kombini. I focus on just buying low calorie foods that I can dress up with dressing at home, like my hot sauce and whatnot. And that's been working out really well for me. Not only do I feel better, I feel slimmer, I'm not as bloated, and I'm saving a hell of a lot of money. Like I think I was in denial before on how much Uber Eats was causing me or was costing me. And oh sorry, someone tried to call me. Sorry. The guy's late because of traffic. So yeah, the basic expenses like rent, food, utilities, everything is gonna stay the same, which means that I'm gonna have a lot more money left over on this salary that than I did on any previous salary that I had at previous jobs, which means that I'm gonna have number one more mental peace, right? Because I'll feel like I have more of a buffer, like I can put more money into a savings account, and I'm also gonna have the more leeway to play with investing because that's one thing that I really feel like I need to start getting a handle on this year, like improving my financial literacy and coming up with an actual investment strategy for the future. Because to be honest, like at this point, I have none. So, I mean, you could say that I've been living paycheck to paycheck for the majority of my working life. Yeah, I have no problem saying that. Like, it doesn't matter how much you're making. Like you could be making $2,000 a month or $10,000 a month, but if you spend every last penny every month and have nothing in savings and you're still dependent on the next month's paycheck to continue your lifestyle up to now, that still counts as paycheck to paycheck, right? So, yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Like I would like to move myself out of the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle for good by the end of 2024. I don't know. I don't know if I should put a timeline on it because like I am so not knowledgeable about it that I cannot even predict how long it would take, but definitely this is what we're going to move towards starting from August. And I'm also going to yeah, like live out what I already spoke into existence last year, which is that I want to live in both Tokyo and Dubai for part of the year. I don't think I'm going to rent a place in Dubai. So I guess for all intensive purposes, my home base is still going to technically be Tokyo. Oh, also because I need to get PR, permanent residency in Japan. So after I am working at this new job for a while, I will apply for permanent residency because I've been here for 12 years and I've been paying taxes and all of that. Honestly, not sure how that's going to go because I don't even know if I have like all of the little tax slips from every single slip that I paid over the past 12 years. I hear they're very strict about that. And I mean, I'm sure they must have a record at like the ward office of all the places that I lived, but I heard that I don't know. I've been reading like online forums about people getting rejected over the tiniest thing or people having their application delayed for like months and months. It's a very lengthy process to begin with. It's like it'll take 6 to 8 months. And I don't know because the only thing, okay, so the thing with the new job is that like the company is very prestigious. It's a huge company and the pay is very good. So that signals that I'm able to support myself financially in Japan, which is what they're looking for, but it's not permanent. It's not permanent position, which I thought that you had to have in order to apply for permanent residency. But I guess technically you don't, as long as you can prove that you can sustain your lifestyle in Japan and you can continue to be, a tax-paying, law-abiding citizen. But yeah, and that I will elect to go through a lawyer's office. I think I would not want to do that on my own. A lot of people do, but I feel like it'll be easier if I just hire someone to do it. That way I don't have to stress out about it. And also it kind of does add a little bit more legitimacy if I go through a law agency. What else? But yeah, I just wanted to come on here to remind you all that like I'm not yes, I might go on trips from time to time. Yes, I have been online. I've been on YouTube. I've been doing the content creation thing for the past 5 years. I know how to make any mundane experience look snazzy and fancy, like I know how to edit. I know how to take aesthetic footage. My footage, it's not like I'm not even that well versed in how to take nice videos with my camera, but I know if you compare my videos now from like 5 years ago, there is improvement there. So yeah, just because I know how to like take any mundane activity that I might be doing in the moment and spruce it up and make it into like this fancy looking vlog, it doesn't mean that I'm living any more of a luxurious lifestyle than any of you. Like there's probably a lot of you out there that you're probably making more than me, straight up. So yeah. And also I don't have kids, right? Keep that in mind. I only have one cat that just eats and poops and eats and poops and sleeps, and that's all she does until the end of time. This is the difference between fur animals, fur babies, and human babies, is that the fur babies don't ever grow up. They are just babies forever, which there are pros and cons to. What else? Yeah, and like even the luxury things that I buy, they're not that luxury, right? Like for example, I've been meaning to do a Vivienne Westwood haul, but I just got this new bag. I'm gonna bring it with me to Dubai because I feel like it's so perfect for my whole Barbie aesthetic these days. Isn't that cute? It's like a mini bag and it's fuzzy and it's pink with silver hardware. Pretty much exactly what I'm looking for in a bag. Yeah, I really wanted a mini bag. And look, the inside is like this shiny mint green color. But this bag was like not that much, I got it on, it's a calf hair small purse. Yeah, so this is calf hair. And it was like 60,000 yen on sale. So it was probably like 100,000 full price. And then they had a 30% off sale. So it was 60,000 yen. Is that right? 6,000 yen. So yeah, that's not like, I don't know, it's not comparable to Chanel or YSL or any of those luxury brands. But it works out for me because Vivienne Westwood is actually like very much more on the affordable side of the luxury spectrum. And it also happens that I just personally really like Vivienne Westwood. So, it's like luxury, but it's not something that anyone making even 1/3 of what I make would be able to treat themselves to once in a while. And also these earrings too. These are called the Miranda earrings, which I automatically think of Miranda from Sex and the City. And I like them because if you see the hoop, it goes through the orb. And it just reminds me of like, it's like Vivienne Westwood, but it kind of also looks like it could be from Dior or Chanel or somewhere. So I kind of like how it has that Dubai luxury feel to it, but still with the Vivienne Westwood punk rock edge. And this was also 60,000 yen, which I thought was very, very affordable. Like, usually their jewelry is a lot more expensive, especially in recent days. They've been marking up their items a lot, but I just thought it was a really good deal that I couldn't pass up. And this was full price, 60,000 yen. That's really good, right? For Vivian Westwood. And technically it's almost like two sets of earrings in one because I could separate these and wear them separately. So yeah, like it's nice. Like I'm very thankful that I'm able to treat myself to these things. And this is these are like early birthday presents to myself because my birthday's on August 5th. So I'm thankful that I can have these nice things. I worked hard to be able to provide these for myself. Like I'm proud of myself, you know. And I do think that definitely everyone deserves to sit back and enjoy the fruits of their labor, or if you want to call it self-care, whatever floats your boat. That's great, but it's not like, I don't know, it's just, to me it's not something that's so inaccessible that a lot of these lifestyle creators these days, I'm not gonna like name names. I can't name names because they're all nameless and faceless to me. Like sometimes I recognize the style of content, but if you ask me to say their first name or even their social media handle, I would not be able to remember it. But yeah, sometimes I feel like a lot of these people post content disingenuously, where like they are posting the luxury shopping hauls and the vacations and stuff, but it's almost like they're purposely omitting the practical down to earth side of it, which that part I find to be insidious. That makes me feel like you have an agenda. Well, they do have an agenda to get people to, you know, see them as aspirational, which will in turn make people more emotionally attached to them, which makes them more likely to buy things through their affiliate links and things like that. You see what I'm getting at here? So I kind of just want to like take a moment and pull the veil back, you know, pull back the curtain for everyone and just remind everyone, because this is nothing new or groundbreaking that I'm saying. This is not like a scandal that I'm uncovering, but just a reminder, just to remind everyone that social media is a highlight reel, right? At best, it's a highlight reel. At worst, it's all smoke and mirrors. So even like, for example, I'm just randomly bringing this up, but the hypergamy dating content that you see out there of the girls getting handed like dozens and dozens of these huge bouquets of roses and like the guys tying their shoes for them, things like that, you don't know for sure how that content was set up and how it was filmed. Like, for all you know, it could have just been their guy friend helping them make a piece of content, or yeah, or like maybe they do have, maybe that is their real boyfriend in the video with them who's providing for them and whatnot, but they're also hustling really hard though online. So just keep things in perspective, right? Like don't just go off of what you see in the actual piece of content. Like think about, okay, behind the scenes though, what does this look like? Like behind the scenes, what is the most probable scenario here? Oh, well, it's this and that. Oh, okay. So probably like one of their guy friends just, or even like they probably linked with other content creators. Like a lot of these girls link up with other male content creators because it's all a business at the end of the day. So it makes them money, it gets them views to make content together about hypergamy related stuff. And so I'm not saying that it's not real for some of them, but just don't believe everything you see. Don't take everything for face value. Take everything with a grain of salt. And yeah, a lot of the content is like veering towards satire now too. Even the luxury and the hypergamy stuff and the like the no 50-50. I don't know. Like I tell me if you feel this way. I almost feel like I can't distinguish between what is real and what is curated anymore, or is it all just a farce? I'm leaning towards the last answer, that all of it is just this fabricated, like simulated version of reality that people are able to. It's very, very weird because it's like the thing that trips us up is that we are capturing real footage of what's happening in our real lives with our camera. But because we have all of these tools, like the editing software and the AI, and then that person can also inject basically, like if it's your content, if you're making a blog of your day, then by default, you're going to be injecting your biased view of the sequence of events that day, which is not necessarily the way that like everyone else around you experienced that event, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe I'm just rambling at this point, but I just want you all to like, I just want all of us to collectively take a step back and just realize that the grass is not greener on the other side, okay? Like, you do not have to sit and doom scroll and pine for or wish for somebody else's lifestyle, or like ask yourself, you don't need to beat yourself up on why somebody else is able to do all these luxury shopping trips and go on all these trips to Dubai. Yeah, I know, I'm guilty. I'm calling myself out here. Like, you don't need to sit here and ask, why is she able to go shop at Vivienne Westwood every week? And why can't I do that? It's like, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. Like, you can do that actually. It's just not going to feel, it doesn't feel the way that you expect it to feel, because social media has kind of brainwashed you effectively into thinking that it's supposed to be this fantastical, out of this world experience, when actually, even for those people in that content, like the content, they're able to dress it up to be as fantastical and as idealistic as possible. But when they are actually living out the experience, it is still just real life, okay? It's just a regular real life mundane experience. Like when I'm out shopping with my friend at Vivienne Westwood, what's actually happening? Okay, well, we're getting on the trains, which I don't like, right? But it's convenient. So I get on the train. I have to transfer to Harajuku station. Like when I get to Shinjuku, I have to transfer trains and then get on a different train. And then, mind you, it's like 35 degrees Celsius out here in Tokyo in the summer, plus humidity. So I'm like sweating my entire face off. And then by the time I get there, I'm like exhausted because, my bag feels like it's has 10 bricks in it now, because everything feels heavier to me when I'm like in the heat. Everything, yeah, even just taking a walk or taking a regular number of steps, it just takes more energy in the heat than it does in normal temperature, right? So that's the actual experience. And then once you get to the store, it's like all these people there and you're bumping into each other because, Japan has very limited space. So the store is not very big and there's a lot of tourists and people. Nothing wrong with tourists. Like, I don't like it when people, this is such a side tangent, but I don't like it when Japanese people complain about there being a lot of tourists here, because I'm like, oh, would you rather just like nobody come here then and let your economy really tank? Because the Japanese yen value is not looking good right now. So you should be bowing down to these tourists, in my opinion, since they are keeping your economy afloat. But anyway, that's a different point altogether. But yeah, like by the time I upload the experience or when I unbox the item on my YouTube video, of course, all you see is like the shiny, um, rich life, luxury life, soft life part. But you don't see like the sweaty train ride that I took to get there, or like, my feet getting blisters on them because I'm wearing these heels I that have the what's it called? Like the inner lining is worn off. I need to get more shoes. I just spent like 60,000 yen on new shoes for this job last night. Most of them from Lanvan on Blue, and there's this other brand that I really like. It's called Ashinaga Ojisan. I should do a shoe haul when I get back from Dubai. Yeah. See, it sounds like a lot of money, but I got a lot of shoes though. Wait, how many pairs did I get? One, two, three. I got 3 pairs of like heels and kind of mule style for the office. And then I got 1 pair of like espadrille sandals. And yeah, that's 4 pairs of shoes from La Man Bleu, which is like an expensive brand. And I really like the quality of their shoes. And they're made in Japan as well for 60,000 yen. I don't think that's bad at all. And then I also got, oh yeah, and then Ashinaga Ojisan, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 pairs. So I got 8 pairs of shoes in total for 60,000 yen. And like good quality shoes too, not shoes from Shein. Because I know that I don't mind getting shoes from Shein sometimes, but I notice that they definitely break a lot quicker than some of the other like proper brands in the department stores here. Okay, so yeah, I need to go soon, but before I go, can somebody help me choose a bag for today? So I was thinking I could either use this. I kind of wanted to save this for Dubai though. Like I wanted to save the debut. And I feel like it doesn't match my outfit. Well, anything would match this outfit actually. Let me go get my other bag. This one I got last year. I really like this bag. Like design wise, I think it is the most badass Vivienne Westwood bag that I own. But I need to tell you guys, and I think I mentioned this a couple times before too. This is the most inconvenient bag that I have ever experienced in my life in terms of actual functionality. Like it's non-functional pretty much. It's 5%. It operates at 5% functionality. Because look, when you zip it open, like it doesn't open because of the structure of the bag. It's like a closed cylinder. So if you zip open this part, it's still like it's not going to open. You know what I mean? I don't know the scientific term to describe it, but it's like an imploding submarine essentially. And even if you do like manage, so after I do manage to squeeze some things into it, I don't know, I'll just put like random. This is my jewelry case. So I managed to squeeze some things into it, but then it's like imbalanced. Okay, because the moment that I move or like I walk and I shift my weight, all of the items inside slide to one side of the bag and it makes the bag like topple over in that direction. And not to mention when I sit down, like I'm going on a date, right? So we're going to go to a Thai restaurant. Where am I supposed to put this? Like where am I supposed to hang it off of? I need one of those hook things that you can put on the table and then you hang your bag on it, like a purse hook. I feel like those are very old school. Like they used to use them in the 50s and 60s and whatnot. But yeah, so anyway, do you think this matches though? Or should I go with the pink? Or maybe I'll go with this one. Because I just feel like, yeah, I want to save this for Dubai. And I feel like if I don't use this one today, I'm never going to use it. I feel so bad. Like, I love it. It's just the most non-functional purse I've ever owned in my life. Like, if I actually have to reach in here to get something, my lip gloss or something for reapplication, God help me, because it's like a Venus flytrap. It will not let me be great. But no, I'll bring this one because the guy's picking me up in his car. So worst comes to worst, I can literally just leave it in his car and it'll be fine, whatever. And I forgot that this is Japan. So they do have, most restaurants have like little baskets that they bring out where you can put your luggage and your purse and stuff inside while you're eating. So yeah. I don't know, but this is, see, also like it slides off my shoulder because the chain is so slippery. Hold on. See, because this one I can do a crossbody situation and that'll be like no big deal. Ooh, maybe I'll do this one. Yeah. It's just more convenient. Like it's easier. It's so easy. All I have to do is open the flap. Okay, I should probably take this stuff out. No wallet necessary. Sorry, Maxine is doing something silly. Oh my god. Wait, let me see here. Oh no, I have 10 minutes. Okay. What can I even fit in here though? You know what? I'm going to take this one. I'm taking this one. Because I have to bring some makeup. I want to bring my makeup bag. I don't know how you guys do it. Like some girls where you just bring your lip gloss and stuff with you. I need my entire bag with me, so it's not going to fit in the pink purse. But see, it might not fit in this one either because the opening is so tight. Right here. There we go. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to take my pass case just in case. I won't need this, but just in case I get stranded somewhere. Now, this guy's nice, though. He's going to bring me back for sure. And extra pair of contact lenses, just in case. Oh, contact solution. That's important. And I got my phone. And we should be good to go. Let me put some more glitter on my eyes. I told you we needed more glitter. So yeah, in conclusion, just remember that most people on social media, by definition of them sharing things on social media, no matter how luxurious or high class or how old money, new money, whatever they look, by definition of them being on social media, that's already suspicious because if they're making their money off social media, chances are that they are not old money rich. You know, people who are actually born into wealth, like generational wealth, they have no need for like doing all this stuff on social media, trying to get followers and clout and stuff in order to make money. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. I myself happen to be a content creator trying to do that. But if their main business, like if their main source of income is through social media, you can trust and believe that they're probably not as wealthy as they are portraying themselves to be. Yeah, 99% of people are just flexing and or they're just showing like highlight reels. And you guys also know that if somebody goes on a vacation to some exotic destination for 2 weeks, that is plenty of time for them to get all the content that they need to last them for an entire year. Okay, maybe even 2 years, because like there's so many different ways to repurpose content these days. As long as they somewhat know their way around a camera, and yeah, they can really, if it's a what's it called? If it's a particularly social media friendly destination, like if it's a very stimulating place such as Dubai or Greece or somewhere or anywhere really this day and age, because again, you can make anything look interesting if you're skilled enough with your editing skills, then all you have to do is like take a bunch of content, take a bunch of raw footage, and you can repurpose that forever until the end of time. Even use it for content that doesn't necessarily have to do with traveling to that place, which is what a lot of these creators do, including myself. Like I have so much footage from Dubai now. I mean, granted, I did actually go there 3 times and this is my 4th time, but even if I only went there like once or twice, I still have enough footage from those 2 trips alone to last me for the entire year. So just, yeah, don't feel like you're behind or you're missing anything or that you're doing anything wrong, because you're not. You're doing just fine. And with that, I must leave you to go eat some Thai food. Bye. Thanks for checking in with me. How do I leave? Oh, bye.